don't know me, I'm Jeff Wolfe, founder and currently chairman of Grow Solar, and more recently a partner in Wolfe Energy. And I'd love to talk a lot about myself, but I'm just the MC here. A little bit of history. Dori Wolfe, my wife, founded Grow Solar with me in 1998. Later, after she founded the Strafford Energy Committee with some other Energy Committee members here. Who's on the Energy Committee here? There we go. And she worked with the committee to get a couple grants into the town. We got a grant to they got a grant to do a 2 kilowatt PV system on the Newton School. But the principal at that time, Paul Lowe, said, "That's great, but how can we power the whole school?" Now with Wolfe Energy and the Clean Energy Development Fund from the state of Vermont, powering the school with solar power is becoming a reality, not only for the Newton School, but for the town offices and garage, and 3 other nonprofits in Strafford, and also for the only 100% solar-powered full-service tack shop in Vermont, the Strafford Saddlery. So it's my real pleasure to introduce somebody I've known for years who is a friend of mine. I count him as a friend, and certainly an ally. Starting with his leadership when he was in the Senate President Pro Tem, Vermont Senate, he's helped move Vermont to a leading position in solar in the entire United States. On solar energy, he has been and continues to be a steadfast ally. Under his guidance, Vermont has drafted and implemented a truly visionary comprehensive energy plan, setting out the excellent and fundamentally required by our climate goal of 90% renewable energy by 2050. Governor Shumlin continues to lead on creating economically positive action on climate change, most recently through his participation in the signature of the first ever Pan-American Action Statement on Climate Change. I know some people think he's a short-timer in Montpelier, but I expect to see many more great actions from his administration in the next year and a half. Please welcome Governor Peter Shumlin.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Dori, for having the vision to help us build a better planet. To all of you, the local energy committee, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Listen, there is nothing more important than this project. So I want to thank all of those who made it possible, who had the vision to come here and build this project. And it will set an example for the many projects in the future that we've got to build. I want to give it up to Rod and Cindy and the whole family for having the vision to do this. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So let me just take a second at this moment for us to reflect on what this really means. I've had the privilege of being the governor of the state for 4.5 years. I have now joined you in managing 3 significant climate change-induced storms. I spent a better part of this week helping out the town of Barrett dig out in Plainfield from another climate change-induced storm. So the beauty of Vermont, as we go through these tragedies together, is we don't waste a lot of time, like the rest of America, trying to debate whether or not our future depends upon making choices like we're making today. I'm the first governor, I believe, since Dean Davis, who was born and raised in this state. And if you told me as a kid growing up in Putney, hey, the energy choices that you're going to make in your lifetime will determine whether the planet is livable for your kids and grandkids, not off there somewhere, but your kids and grandkids, I would have said that's hyperbole, you're crazy. And here we stand, really a short time later. I'm a little grayer and a little more wrinkled, and we understand that if we don't continue to make choices like the local energy committee is making right here, right now, that you're making as a community, that this planet will be unlivable for future generations of human beings and lots of other great things that we want to live. So is there anything more important than the action that we're taking here today? I say no. Now I'll tell you something else. I never would have predicted that when I became governor and we all came together as a state and had the vision to respond to the climate change-induced storms, by starting to change the way we do energy and energy efficiency. And we've literally now have 10 times the number of solar panels we had in this state when I took office. 10 times in 4.5 years. We'll probably do that again in the next 2.5. I hope we do. But I didn't think that the debate would become, hey, we really shouldn't be doing that. It changes our landscape. It changes the way Vermont looks. I believe that about wind, and I fought hard for wind, and I'm going to continue to fight hard for wind. I didn't think it would be a discussion around solar. So let's talk about that for a second. We've got to help use projects like this to explain to our friends and neighbors that energy must change, and it must change now. And that means that we're not going to have big generation plants out there somewhere transmitted to us through hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles of poles and wires with energy companies that are trying to sell as much of it to us as they possibly can to make a profit, because those generators generally rely upon coal and oil and other emitting fuels that will destroy us. So when you hear about wind or solar, you say, well, that doesn't look like what we used to look at. Or, that particular windmill might hurt a bear or a bat, and we obviously want to avoid that. We got to remember this struggle is for all the bears, all the bats, and all of the people, and none of them will survive if we don't quickly move much faster doing more projects like this. So, if you're in for all the bats, all the bears, all the people, all the landscape, all the vistas, you got to be in for more solar right away. That's got to be our message. Now, I just want to say this. I had the privilege of being up at a climate summit up in Toronto last week. And I was there with a lot of great people, including Al Gore, who's someone I have a lot of respect for on this subject. And when I told Al Gore and the other governors and premiers from across the country and energy activists what Vermont was doing, their jaws literally dropped. What we're doing here in Strafford, is setting the example for what we've got to do around the rest of the planet. Full stop. And we should be excited about that. When I told them that we had over 100 energy committees across our state of volunteer citizens that come together in town halls and in local community places, schools, and they're all figuring out individually how to get off of what we were doing and move to green, clean, renewable power in their communities. They said, you got to be kidding me. And I said, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of citizens that are doing that together, spontaneously, because they care. They're not getting paid, but they have a vision, a collective vision, and they're literally competing with energy committees next door. I loved it when recently I was up in Waitsfield and Waterbury, and they're competing with each other to see who can build out more renewables faster. And it's a town-wide competition coming from our energy committees. So listen, Vermont's getting this one right. I'm so proud of this community. I'm so proud to be here. And I just want to say that of all the single actions that we can take in our lifetimes to make a difference for future generations, this is it. You are doing it. And I drove down here today because I'm extraordinarily proud of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, Governor. Your leadership really has made this possible. Nothing gets built unless it gets paid for. I've worked with Ecogy Solar for half a decade now. They're astute financiers who care deeply about developing clean energy. Jack Bertuzzi is an entrepreneur himself in solar marketing as well, and brings really great energy and insight to his work. We're fortunate to have him involved in this project. Jack? Where'd Jack go? Jack, do you have any words?
Yeah, I'll say it quick.
Something.
I'll make something. So yeah, thank you, for all being here, and thank you for the governor. Just a real quick background, Ecogy, what we do is we invest in solar projects like these and own and operate them and sell the electricity that comes out of them. This particular project was really exciting because it's the first community solar project that we know, and it represents sort of a new paradigm where solar is moving. What's really exciting about this is that it's a relatively large installation that's centralized, but it's producing electricity for people that are down the transmission grid, but are still close. So we're using the electricity grid around us, but at the same time we get the sort of economic benefits of being able to build a larger system. And it is sort of a new paradigm in the way that solar is being utilized, utilizing the local grid, utilizing wide open spaces like this, and creating an economic benefit for the people in the local community. So it's a really interesting and exciting project. I want to thank Dori. She did countless legwork to really get this project in place. Quite frankly, we came in kind of at the end. So, it's been a pleasure working with you, Dori. So thank you very much. And yeah, we look very much forward to doing more of these. So thanks all for your support, and looking forward to managing this for the next 20, 25 years. Thanks.
All right.
I don't see anybody from here. They had conflicts, but I do want to thank our local delegation, Representative Jim Maslin, Tim Brooklyn, and Senator Mark McDonald. They've been very supportive over the years in terms of legislation, and very supportive of this project as well, individually. So thanks to our delegation. Yeah. So how many people get to introduce their wife? I have to be really careful. But it's a great honor to be able to do this. She has had dogged determination, unflagging effort, and deep passion, not just for the project, but for the triple bottom line. She really has. Dori's pursued project development of this project for 2 years. Easier projects were available, but contrary to her husband's advice, she kept on moving on this one to make it a reality. And she cannot imagine how much her husband admires her. So please welcome the one person without whom we wouldn't be here today, Dori Wolfe.
So I am going to use the podium because I've got things to do. So, you know how this phrase is, that's right, you get the things to do. You know how the phrase is that it takes a village to raise a family? It takes a community to do community solar. So my job is the lovely one of thanking all of you who made this possible, and then asking you a favor, because like when I had my children, Jeff will attest, I made announcement cards and took pictures, and we do that. So this for me is my announcement, and there's the ribbon, and I want it filled with people. I have 11 scissors, the biggest. Oh, I have a mess. Well, so Jeff will be working on that. We could cut.
If you like my house,
The wind has been interesting. Okay, so the biggest scissor is for Governor Shumlin for the leadership and vision that has allowed this expansive growth to happen in Vermont. So when the scissors are available,
Great.
Jeff will lead you here. All right. And then Andy Perchley couldn't be here, but the Clean Energy Development Fund is the grant that made it possible for us not just to take the easiest project. This was more difficult because we had nonprofits. But that grant helped us make that difference. So we're very, very appreciative of the Clean Energy Development Fund. And so maybe, would you like to cut scissors on behalf of the Clean Energy Development Fund? No, I'm looking at your intern, Peter.
Oh,
ready to go with it?
Thomas is in, yeah.
You're taking pictures. Who would like to
Scott
go?
will do it.
Scott will do it.
Right here. He's great with scissors.
Thank you, Scott, representing the Clean Energy Development Fund. And then Rod and Cindy McClay for having the vision and the civic mindedness to allow the array on their land. And, yeah, again, my favorite quote, which I've now used and abused, but Rod said to me, "I'm not in this for the money," and in fact, he gets net metering credits, which are going to the Saddlery. So he's really not in this for the money. He goes, "I just want the children of Newton School to see where their power is coming from, and we have children here from Newton School to see where their power is coming from. Yay, yay, yay! So good." So Rod and Sid, you guys get to decide, or you can both come together.
One of us here, take one of your granddaughter.
Okay, good, because we are doing this. All right. So then, the Town of Strafford, and I know the Town of Strafford is not in the business of generating power, but by being part of this array, the town offices and the garage are being renewably powered at a savings. No money down, no risk. So good for you, town, and I think we have Brian and Steve. You guys can decide who's going to come back and cut the ribbon.
Where is Steve?
Okay, and then we have Newton School, and this is in memory of Principal Paul Lowe, who's now passed away, but I remember distinctly the day we stood out in front of the school, and he looked at the 2 kilowatt array, and he said, "That's fine, but really, how do we do the whole school?" So this is for him, this is for you, Paul, and I'm glad we have children, so you guys can come cut the ribbon too. And then Barrett Memorial Hall, just over the hill, is having a major rummage sale right now. So 5:30 today, come back, buy, because it all just benefits the community. Trustee Rebecca Seibel wasn't able to be here with us, but I know we have representatives that will come cut the ribbon from Barrett Hall. And she's long been asking how can they get solar for their important community buildings. And then we have the Morrill Memorial and Harris Library, named after a great statesman. So we are fortunate to have that great library in our midst, and again, a great librarian, Rebecca Seibel, who said, "How can we do this?" So, and I know we have trustees from the library that will come cut. And then the United Church of Strafford, thank you, trustees. Ned is going to be, and Bill Burton's here, but Ned's going to cut. Thank you for being part of this array. We need to all be working together, people of science, people of faith, and to that end, I would encourage you all, and I'm surprised Jeff hasn't even snuck in a message of it, but on Saturday and Sunday, October 8th and 9th, over at the townhouse, there's the symposium, our Children Climate Faith Symposium.
August, not October.
August, thank you. You got to watch me. August 8th and 9th at the townhouse. And ask Jeff, he can give you flyers on it too. So thank you, United Church of Strafford. And Peck Electric. We would not obviously have been able to do this without Peck Electric, so thank you, Steve, for coming and representing your great firm. They did an excellent job. Have you noticed how it contours with the hill? It's just beautiful. And then I actually probably don't have enough scissors for this one. Oh, we could, anyway, but I would love to thank the Energy Committee. You've just been steadfast and true through all of this. I don't have scissors necessarily. Actually, I don't need scissors. So then there is Ecogy Solar. Thank you for financing, and Wolfe Energy together. What a team. So somehow, without the ribbons, we're going to stand here and let these, this is the announcement. So come bring your announcement. Bring your scissors.
We're in.
You want to stand in the center?
Backside. Dori, you should tell me where I'm not there.
You stand in the center.
Now we got to
We're going to, everybody's going to hold it. And just, so you put your sign there, and people will tell us, put your sign in front. Like that, yes? Okay, good. All right.
You all good?
All right.
Yeah?
All right.
All right.
Wait for the instruction. I think Jeff's going to give us the final.
No, I got to
No. I want your hands on there. Okay, hands on. Ready? Go. Ready. And
First, you got to look up and smile.
all right, smile. Hi, Howie. Nicely. Ready?
All right.
And cut.
All right. Woo! Way to go, kid.